Hello and welcome to Mythic Mundi, where we journey into the heart of legend. Today, we turn our gaze to the highest peak of Mount Olympus, to the throne beside the King of the Gods. She is a figure of immense power, profound complexity, and enduring influence. She is the goddess of marriage, women, childbirth, and the family. She is the Queen of Olympus. Today, we explore the story of Hera. To understand Hera, we must first understand her origins. She was not a minor deity who ascended through marriage. She was a Titan's daughter. Hera was born to Cronus, the ruler of the Titans, and Rhea, the goddess of fertility. This lineage makes her a sibling to some of the most powerful deities in the Greek Pantheon: Hestia, Demeter, Hades, Poseidon, and of course Zeus himself. Her early life was marked by the same shadow that fell over all her siblings, fearing a prophecy that one of his children would overthrow him, just as he had overthrown his own father, Uranus. Cronus swallowed each of his children whole as they were born. Hera, like the others, was imprisoned within her father, a queen in waiting, trapped in darkness before she ever saw the light. It was only when her youngest brother, Zeus, was saved by her mother's cunning and returned to free his siblings that Hera emerged. The war that followed, the Titanomachy, was a universe-altering conflict that lasted 10 years. While her brothers waged war, Hera's role in the conflict is less clearly defined, though some traditions place her in the care of Oceanus and Tethys, far from the fray. When the dust settled and the Olympians claimed victory, the cosmos was divided. Zeus took the sky, Poseidon the sea, and Hades the underworld. But Hera's dominion was destined to be intertwined with the new king. Zeus, now the supreme ruler, desired her sister, Hera. But she was not easily won. She resisted his advances, aware of his growing reputation for infidelity. The stories of his pursuit are many, but the most famous tells of his transformation. Zeus created a violent thunderstorm and, disguised as a small, bedraggled cuckoo bird, flew into Hera's arms for protection. Taking pity on the creature, Hera held it to her breast, at which point Zeus revealed his true form. The circumstances of what happened next vary by myth, but the most common version holds that she agreed to marry him to cover the shame of the encounter. Their wedding was the greatest celebration the cosmos had ever seen. All the gods and goddesses attended, bearing magnificent gifts. Gaia, the earth herself, presented Hera with a tree of golden apples, a symbol of fertility and eternal life, which would later be guarded by the Hesperides. And so Hera ascended to her throne. She became the Queen of the Gods. This is a critical distinction. She was not merely Zeus's wife. She was his co-ruler in many respects. While Zeus commanded the lightning and the wider affairs of gods and mortals, Hera's dominion was the very fabric of society, the sacred bond of marriage, the protection of women, and the sanctity of the home. Her symbols are deeply evocative of this power. We see her with the peacock, its magnificent tail a supposed representation of the all-seeing eyes of Argus, her loyal servant. We see her with the pomegranate, an ancient symbol of fertility and blood, and with the cuckoo, a reminder of her courtship. She wears the polos, a high cylindrical crown signifying her divine authority. She is Hera Teleia, Hera the fulfiller of marriage. But to be the goddess of marriage while married to Zeus, the most unfaithful husband in all of mythology, is the central irony and the defining tragedy of Hera's existence. This marriage was not a partnership of equals in practice. Zeus, as the king, operated by his own rules that he expected Hera to follow, but which he himself constantly broke. Her power was immense, but it was also constrained. She held dominion over the heavens and the earth. She could bless unions or destroy them. She could grant fertility or withhold it. Yet the only thing she seemed not to be able to control was her own husband. This complex dynamic of absolute power and profound personal frustration is the forge that shapes her character. She is not simply the jealous wife. She is a queen whose authority is constantly undermined, a goddess of fidelity whose own marriage is a mockery of her divine role. Her stories are not just tales of spite. They are epic narratives of a powerful woman navigating a patriarchal system, using every tool at her disposal, her cunning, her authority, and yes, her righteous anger, to maintain her dignity and her position. In part 1, we have met the queen, her noble birth, her rise to power, and the complex marriage that would define her destiny. When we return, we will explore the consequences of that marriage as we delve into the famous and fearsome stories of Hera's vengeance. Welcome back to Mythic Mundi. We have established Hera as the powerful Queen of Olympus, the goddess of marriage and family. But it is her reaction to her husband's endless infidelities that has cemented her reputation in popular culture. The stories of Hera's anger are legendary, shaping the destinies of countless gods, demigods, and mortals. It's important to frame this correctly. While Zeus's actions were often impulsive and driven by desire, Hera's responses were methodical, strategic, and spanned generations. She rarely, if ever, punished her husband directly. She knew she could not dethrone him. Instead, her fury was directed at those he pursued and the children they produced. To Hera, these unions were not just personal insults. They were direct threats to the stability of Olympus and her own authority. Let's look at the case of Leto, a Titan goddess who became pregnant with Zeus's children. When Hera discovered this, she enacted a devastating decree. She banished Leto from the earth, declaring that no land under the sun could offer her a place to give birth. Furthermore, she sent the monstrous serpent Python to hunt her relentlessly. Leto wandered the earth in agony, finding no refuge. Every island, every mountain, every city feared Hera's wrath and turned her away. It was only the floating, barren island of Delos that finally offered her sanctuary, a piece of land not technically attached to the earth. There, hidden from the sun, she gave birth to the divine twins, Apollo and Artemis. Hera's attempt to prevent their birth had failed, but her message was clear. There was no corner of the cosmos that could hide from her. Then there is the story of Io, a priestess of Hera herself. Zeus, captivated by her, visited her in secret. When Hera grew suspicious, Zeus quickly transformed Io into a beautiful white heifer to hide her. Hera, however, was not fooled. Pretending to admire the lovely animal, she asked Zeus to give it to her as a gift. Trapped, Zeus had to agree. Hera then placed Io, still in heifer form, under the watchful gaze of her servant, Argus Panoptus, a giant with 100 eyes. Argus never slept. At any given time, some of his eyes were watching. Io was a prisoner, tethered and tormented. Zeus eventually sent Hermes to free her, who lulled Argus to sleep and then slew him. In her grief and rage, Hera took the giant's eyes and placed them on the tail of her sacred bird, the peacock, as an eternal memorial. But her pursuit of Io was not over. She sent a vicious gadfly to sting the heifer relentlessly, forcing Io to wander the world in madness for years, crossing seas and continents, before finally finding peace. Hera's conflicts were not limited to nymphs or mortals. She clashed with Zeus's other divine children too. She was a noted antagonist to Dionysus,
the son of Zeus and the mortal Semele, and she famously attempted to prevent the birth of Athena, who was born from Zeus's head. But of all her conflicts, none is more famous, more prolonged, or more personal than her war against one man, Heracles. Heracles, or as the Romans called him, Hercules, was the son of Zeus and the mortal woman Alcmene. His very name, Heracles, means the glory of Hera. It was a name given in a desperate and ultimately failed attempt to appease the furious queen.
From the moment of his conception, Hera sought his end. When Alcmene was in labor, Hera sent the goddess of childbirth, Eileithyia, to sit outside the door with her legs crossed, magically preventing the birth. Alcmene suffered for days, on the brink of death, until a clever servant tricked the goddess into uncrossing her legs, allowing Heracles to be born. Hera's next attempt was more direct. While Heracles was still an infant in his cradle, she sent 2 enormous serpents to his crib. But this was no ordinary child. The baby Heracles reportedly awoke, laughed at the creatures, and strangled them, one in each hand. Her enmity followed him his entire life. It was Hera who drove him to the fit of madness that caused him to take the lives of his own wife and children. This horrific act, driven by a divine curse, is what sent him on his quest for redemption, the famous 12 labors. And even during these impossible tasks, Hera worked against him. She sent the Hydra of Lerna. She agitated the Stymphalian birds. She sent the giant crab Karkinos to attack him while he battled the Hydra. Heracles, in turn, fought back. He is one of the few figures, mortal or divine, to ever physically harm Hera. During one conflict, he shot her in the breast with an arrow, forcing her to retreat to Olympus in pain. Their war was total, a central thread in the tapestry of Greek myth. It represented the eternal struggle between the divine order of the queen and the chaotic, disruptive power of the demigod hero. It was only after his death, upon his ascension to Olympus as a full god, that a reconciliation finally occurred. Heracles was given Hera's own daughter, Hebe, the goddess of youth, as his immortal wife, at last ending the feud that had defined his life. These stories, while portraying her as vengeful, also underscore her tenacity, her strategic mind, and her unwavering defense of her own domain. She was a formidable, relentless opponent, a force of nature as powerful as any storm Zeus could conjure. When we return, we will look beyond her famous feuds, exploring Hera's role as a mother, her part in the Trojan War, and her lasting legacy as one of mythology's most complex figures.
Welcome back to Mythic Mundi. We have explored Hera the Queen and Hera the Vengeful Wife. Now, in our final part, we look at the other facets of her story, her role as a mother, her influence on one of history's greatest wars, and her enduring legacy. While many of her stories revolve around her husband's children, Hera was also a mother in her own right. With Zeus, she had several children, though they are often as complex and troubled as their parents' marriage. There was Ares, the god of war. Unlike the strategic, intelligent warfare of Athena, Ares represented the brutal, chaotic, and bloodthirsty side of conflict. He was impulsive and violent, and his relationship with his parents was fraught. Zeus openly expressed his disdain for him. Hera, while often protective, also found him difficult. Then there was Hebe, the goddess of youth. She served as the cupbearer to the gods, pouring them nectar and ambrosia, until she was given in marriage to the deified Heracles. Eileithyia, the goddess of childbirth, was another of her daughters. This gave Hera direct control over the very domain she protected, and as we saw with Leto and Elnechmi, she was not afraid to use that power as a weapon. But perhaps her most famous and tragic child was Hephaestus, the god of the forge, fire, and craftsman. The myths surrounding his birth are telling. In one version, he is the son of Zeus and Hera. In a more popular and symbolic version, Hera, furious at Zeus for birthing Athena from his own head, decided she would do the same. She conceived Hephaestus on her own, without a father. However, the child was born with a physical impairment. Disgusted and shamed by his appearance, Hera cast him from Mount Olympus. Hephaestus fell for a day and a night, landing in the sea where he was rescued by the sea nymphs Thetis and Eurynome. He grew up to be a master craftsman, the greatest in the cosmos. He eventually exacted his own revenge by building a beautiful golden throne for his mother. When Hera sat in it, hidden bonds sprang forth, trapping her. None of the gods could free her. It was only when Dionysus brought Hephaestus to Olympus and placated him with wine that he finally agreed to release his mother. Hephaestus was restored to Olympus, but the scar of his mother's rejection remained. Beyond her family dramas, Hera's influence extended to the great events of the mortal world. Her most significant intervention was in the Trojan War. The entire conflict, in a way, began with Hera's pride. At the wedding of Peleus and Thetis, the goddess Eris, or Discord, tossed a golden apple inscribed "For the fairest" among the goddesses. 3 laid claim to it: Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Zeus wisely refused to judge, and the task fell to the mortal prince Paris of Troy. Each goddess offered him a bribe. Athena offered him wisdom and victory in battle. Aphrodite offered him the most beautiful mortal woman in the world, Helen of Sparta. And Hera, she offered him what she valued most: power. She offered to make him the king of all Europe and Asia. Paris, in a fateful decision, chose Aphrodite. He was given Helen, and the rest is history. But in doing so, he earned the undying enmity of the 2 goddesses he slighted. Hera's pride, wounded, was now set against the entire city of Troy. Throughout the 10-year war, she was a relentless champion of the Greeks, or Achaeans. She plotted against Zeus's commands. She seduced her own husband to distract him while the Greeks gained an advantage. And she celebrated in the ultimate fall and destruction of the city that had dared to scorn her. Hera's story is one of profound contradiction. She is the goddess of marriage, yet trapped in the most dysfunctional one. She is the protector of women, yet often the greatest tormentor of them. She is a queen with near infinite power, yet she is defined by her reactions to her husband's power. She is a figure of unbending will, a divine queen who refused to be a footnote in her own husband's story. She demanded her place at the center of the cosmos and held it against all challengers. What topic would you like us to cover next? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to help us by liking, subscribing, and commenting. Thank you for joining us on Mythic Mundi.